Hey, you there. Just wanted to let you know you are now listening to the AK Mindset Podcast.
Yo, what's good, guys? Episode 7, OSHI no Co. The AK Watch. You should really know by now, to be honest. But if you don't, you're more than welcome to get to know by catching up via the AK Watch playlist. Go on. It's always going to be there, and we're always going to be here when you return. So go and enjoy what we've done so far. And with me today is my amazing co-host, Daniel. What's good, man?
Yo, what's going on, people? Daniel here, back again for episode 7, OSHI no Co. And another good episode this week. So just happy to discuss. And before we get into the discussion, make sure to keep updated with us on the socials platforms. They should be on the screen right now. Instagram at the.ak_mindset and Twitter at AK Mindset. So yeah, follow those up if you haven't already.
Yeah, man. Keep in contact and engage with us as always. This episode 7, The Buzz. Following obviously last week's dramatic end to the episode, it was kind of good to see, and it's good to see good people. Someone like Aqua who's just able to go the extra mile for someone to make sure they're all right. It speaks a lot to his character and just his diligence, just being able to be so kind of aware of how critical the situation at hand may be, and just being in the kind of immediate vicinity to help out. It's one of the best traits Aqua has. Just even though he hides how much he cares, but you just know he's such a somebody who has a lot of empathy.
Yeah. I think liked how they showed how he managed to find her. So I have to shout out Memcho, because she's the one who went out first to try and look for Akane, and it just shows that she really cares for Akane and was willing to go out in the storm to find her. And then Aqua I think this is just him being an adult coming into play. He managed to trace where she went and just get there in time before it was too late. So I think his experience with I as well is also another driving factor. He kind of saw how he was like when people need help, he needs to get there before it's too late. So all in all, it's a crisis averted and a nice calmer start to the episode compared to last week.
Yeah, 100%. Way much calmer. Just obviously, like you said, him having experience of just and his previous life, and being an adult with a much more kind of grander scale perspective. He understood, even when most people wouldn't, how critical the situation might end up being. So jumping into action was something that it definitely rate, and it kind of showed, especially in the beginning of this episode, how young, and because of the age group and the platform they're on, they're so consumed by their immediate reality. It feels like that's the only perspective, or that's how it's always going to be, and it's really scary, isn't it? It's I remember being that age, being that young, thinking, this situation, this is all it will be, or this is situation, this is all this the outlook, because you don't have the wider perspective. And it's kind of good to see the introduction of the concept of social media counseling, or as a requirement to these type of shows, because I do know that this is something that it especially does happen a lot recently, especially with the big ones like Love Island and stuff. I know they require them to do some sort of period of counseling just to kind of cope with the demands that being a social media kind of influence kind of demands of you, you know what I mean? So what do you think about that aspect, them continuing to showcase the true reality of the industry and how much it takes out of people and stuff like that?
Mm, uh, I didn't know about the social media thing that you just mentioned. I think that's cool that they do that for Love Island now. I think they were kind of forced to do that because of certain events. About the show, I think Aqua kind of nailed it on the head when he mentioned, I think when he was talking to that director, how no, he was talking to Memcho, how he mentioned that they specifically framed it to make Akane the villain, and then like I think that happens. That's something we see. Like I don't know if you remember, but like a couple of years ago, there was this thing on Big Brother where this like this guy he he playfully tapped this lady on the shoulder, and she like exaggerated it and tried to make it up like he was like abusing her in the house, and then like all the people in the house turned on him. But because people saw the full footage, it was showing that like she was just lying about the whole thing. So I guess my whole thing with this is because the viewers were able to see the truth of the scene, that she got like basically removed from the house. But in their situation, the viewers get manipulated, so they have a false perception of what actually happened, and they didn't actually get to see the whole truth of the situation. And then another thing is just about how people always hate, because even after they quote unquote resolved it, you still have people, even after the news got leaked, you have people who are just very, very negative, and they're just like, oh yeah, she was doing it for attention, which is just unsurprising, but very just disgusting thoughts. But that's some people, but that's just online. You're always gonna have people who are just thick-headed. They don't want to listen, and that's why you just can't pay attention to everything that you see on the internet.
No, for real. It's one of those where, like, because it's such an environment where a lot of people, like we said previously, just the anonymity, being able to hide behind something, makes it easier for you to like do stuff that you wouldn't do normally, and criticize or heap or even feel a part of a group when you're going against someone. And it kind of continues to show how like especially this episode, they being so young, they still have to be so kind of aware of what they're saying and doing, because we've seen when mid-episode or during the episode, when you'd have some comments by what's her name again, Aqua's sister, it's left my mind.
Ruby,
that's it. Comments by Ruby and it's not Akane, why am I forgetting names today?
Kana.
That's it. Ruby and Kana. Some comments they will make, they were like, oh, if I'd put that online, it could have been looked at this way, or oh, I have to be very, very careful. And it's crazy to think that at that young age they have to just have so much kind of awareness of what they're how they're engaging on the platform they're using, just because of their notoriety, like just how big they are. There's two moments that were mad unhinged, I'm not gonna lie to you. The first one was when Aqua was like, I'm going to charge Akane for the taxi fare. That finished me. And the second one was when what's it called, when Akane pulled out of the questioning room, which was crazy, just seeing her cry and break down like that. When my girl slapped her, I was like, rah. she just came out from like suffering the lowest point of her life. Slap her, yeah, slap her, but not now. It's just 2 weeks. Oh, by the way, you're acting ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I guess this is just I'm gonna try use my words carefully, but I think this is just I think it was a good example of how you know, when you make a decision to do that action, how it impacts the people around you. When, like, if you're successful, how like that decision, your loved ones and your friends, because she hit her because she was frustrated that instead of going to them and asking for help, she just decided to take the quote-unquote worst option, and something that they couldn't really like, if she didn't send any message in the group chat, they wouldn't have even been able to help or prevent that. So she just I think she was just, you know, emotional, and she was upset. She wants, because she's friends with her, and she wants her to know that, like, she wants to support her, but if you don't say anything, how can I help you? And I can understand that perspective. Obviously, when it's a strange situation where Akane was in her own hole, so she couldn't really see that there were people there. Even her mum, but the mum's just like, she didn't even tell her mum what was going on. And I'm sure if the mum knew, then she would have been there to help her as well. But she was just trying to do everything by herself. And I think that's something she can learn to avoid in the future, to avoid going into that place again.
Literally, I hope she gets out of paying that taxi fare though. Just
I think he was just playing.
And kind of moving on to the big the main piece of the series, just seeing the group kind of get together and create the story behind the story, like the reality behind the reality show. And firstly, it was just cool to get more information or like context to how you know, the idea of staging and how directors are able to cast certain light to fuel a certain narrative and show. And obviously that's one of the big reasons Akko was pissed off the whole episode and angry and really motivated to free Akane from this situation. Just understanding that even when he had the conversation with the directors, like, these are kids, you know, we are kids. There is no reason we're gonna make mistakes. Like, don't put us in a worse situation by how you're gonna, you know, shoot this or narrate this and push it your agenda just for views to the audience, which is crazy. Because even the image they showed with the chef cooking and then they zoomed in and it looked hella malicious. Like, I was like, it's definitely they hold so much power. Basically, they hold a lot of power, and they have a responsibility in the industry. Like, how do you feel about the industry? Do you feel like I don't know how they would create an environment where it's more, you know, focused on protecting their cast rather than, you know, pushing for numbers?
It's a difficult balance, because I mean, the guy said, yeah, we're just doing our jobs, you know, because obviously to make the show entertaining, you have to have drama, of course. And I think I hear where the director was coming from. I don't agree with him, but obviously they have a quarter to meet, and I think they just needed that villain character to add that additional element to spice up the show. So I guess that's I don't know, maybe you could technically blame the consumer, because the consumer is the one that is causing the need for that added element. But at the end of the day, I think they could have probably thought of more interesting ways to spice up the story. But I think Aqua was correct, and even the director knew. He said, you're 35, she's 17. Even though you're both professionals, that age gap is just very vast. And like, she's old enough to be no. I mean, if you had her young, but like, I'm
close enough.
The main thing is you're an adult. You're an adult. Like, you could be her father
Mm-hmm.
in a alternate timeline. And like, how would you, if that was your sister, how would you feel if she was getting flamed because of your decision? And I think even the director knew, and he just had that flashback to her always asking questions, and he knew because she was always trying to do the best for the show, and he's remembering her asking questions, and he's just like, yeah, I'll give you the footage even though I'm not supposed to, because it's not right what happened, and even though I'm not going to take direct responsibility, this is the best way I can help. So yeah, I think obviously the industry is corrupt, but they chose to work there, so I guess you just have to find ways to deal with it, and that's why they were talking about creating a character, using lies. It's you see that, I think that's another reason it kind of links back to the first episode where I is always talking about being a liar, because no one really, you never really see her true self, even in that first episode, and that's that's one of the weapons she used to protect herself.
Yeah, for sure. And it's understandable why they use that, as a kind of like a shield or armor that protects their true self, their most vulnerable self, because it would be so tiresome just to be like entirely yourself, open, and that be attacked. That's the thing that get attacked. That is crazy. That's a lot. Nobody could be able to withstand that. So it's very understandable. I think everything you said in regards to the director was definitely well said, and you could tell that he understood that it is wrong, even though it's part of their industry and part of their work and how they produce these shows and get the attention and the rates and viewership higher by having these kind of intense dramatic moments. But he understands that there's a real person that suffers, and that's crazy. There's something that I know from this episode that we both relate to hardcore, and it's the struggle and tiresome nature of editing. Did you see my guy Aqua? He was finished. He was absolutely rinsed. Oh my days.
I mean, like, yeah, she looked tired, man. Yeah, they were working him like a slave.
Someone should have told him, you can take breaks, bro. You can take nice breaks, go on a walk, refresher. But some things are worth putting all that effort into and being exhausted over for the end result. I definitely loved, because this is the first time we've actually seen all the characters, all the people on the show kind of, together, being their real self, pushing towards like the same goal. There's no kind of selfish nature of I'm trying to put on my best performance and trying to be the most engaging on the show. I thought that was very cool, just to just to get a different kind of perspective on their friendship and their relationship, because I thought it's definitely something that we haven't even seen. Like, they're seeing the public are going to see the reality behind the reality TV show, but we were also seeing the reality behind the reality TV show. We were seeing the friendships and the real care for each other, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, I think that was a really nice moment, and it just showed how they are all very determined to help Akane and just put things right, make sure like people realize that she is a good person, a nice person, and she doesn't deserve all the hate she was getting. And I liked how they all contributed in their own ways. Like Memcho, with the insider knowledge, knowing the best time to post and how many retweets you need in a certain time frame for the thing to go viral. And then but the guy, I don't know, I forgot his name, but the grey-haired guy with his song, draw the emotions out of people, and then Yuki, who had the knowledge of the incident actually being filmed because she deliberately positioned herself in the camera's view. So they all contributed, apart from the guy with the black hair who was just there for banter, I guess. But yeah, they did their thing, man. They did their thing for sure.
Yeah, it was very enjoyable to see that, and what they produced was something special, because you see how like the response to the video and the clips, the screenshot, just the mass approval. Do you know, the one thing that I hate is those people who actually, with the comments that pop up on the screen when it's like, oh, I'm gonna switch sides now. Oh my days, I've seen the side of it. These were probably the same person who had their pitchforks ready, were marching, parading, saying, hey, this girl has to go. Switch up so quick. I'm not gonna lie, like, I love that the hate is dying down, but my hate for these people is rising.
That's the internet for you, bro. Like, they're just it's very fickle, volatile, and I don't try to find logic in it, because it's just an illogical place.
No, there's no hope. You get lost deep in that source. With Akane, towards the end of the episode, we see the kind of conversation around finding her place as she returns back to the show, and what kind of obviously gaining the confidence first to keep pushing forward with her career and everything she's invested. I really love about her character, like how not only how astute she is and how focused she is, but also her empathy and her understanding that, like, the main reason she didn't want to just drop this out was because she was thinking of all the effort that's gone into acting and into her being a professional performer, and not only her effort, but she was thinking about her mum, the sacrifices that people have made around her to make her have this position. So she's one hell of a girl, like, with a strong backbone and like a leveled head, who has a lot of heart and a lot of empathy. That's why I love her character so much. So it's just cool to see what's gonna take place. We got a little sneak peek. Like, Aqua, who's your ideal girl? Aqua's a problem though. Like, bro, like, someone can't ask you what's your ideal girl and then your mom comes in your head.
I mean, it's this complicated relationship, because he was the idol, then she was a parental figure, so the relationship is just a strange thing to try and define at the point in time. But yeah, I mean, I was just like, bro, like, come on, man. It's just like that's your mother now. You can't just be saying that. But I think it was interesting that Memcho was able to distinguish the person just from, because he didn't really give like that many identifiable cues, but she was aware about Ai, even though she died quite some time ago. So that was an interesting pickup from her. But with Akane, yes, this is where you start to see why people really like her. I like her. She's really cool. Serious, dedicated to her work, and I think what this episode is starting to show is her strengths, because she is an actor, theatre actor, and you see, once she had the role that she needed to play, she is serious. She did her research, and that scene where she's just dissecting things about Ai's personality, her interactions, her development, it just shows she's very smart, but also it was kind of creepy. It wasn't kind of. It was scary, because the way she was picking up certain things, talking about oh, she had her behavior is like someone who had sex during puberty. I'm like, bro, how did you even manage to draw that insight from the things that you've been reading? And then she's talking about, oh yeah, something changed when she was 15. And it's like, how are you pinpointing these specific time points? Yeah, like it just tells you that like Akane, when it comes to this acting and getting into her role, she's able to just like pick up things that people don't really usually see. And you know, that's one of the things that makes her interesting, you know, just looking at that ability to dissect and analyze. It just kind of shows you that she is on a different level when it comes to acting. And you even have Kana hyping her up at the end, where she's basically saying, yo, like she is the real deal when it comes to on the stage, in the theater. And then you already saw the last scene, bruv. Like I was even mad because I was like, bro, we have to wait 2 weeks for the next episode, and then you're ending it on this scene. And I even forgot that like the episode went so quickly. I even forgot it was ending. I was like, bro, this is when it's just about to get interesting. But yeah.
No, for real. I would definitely say she is given more master detective Sherlock Holmes vibes than actor sometimes. The way she pull up to the notepad, she just needs a detective hat and was one of those smoking pipes, and she'll be serious. No detail will be missed. And I was just even thinking, bro, how many notepads do you think she goes through? It must be crazy.
No, many. The way she just be writing notes, like she spends days every time they go recording the notepad. And then you saw how many post-its she had up on her wall, dark, just a computer screen. Crazy.
Yeah, all her finance definitely goes into supplying her notepad addiction and pens and that. If anybody's listening, you know, you can note this down. My dream wife starred in Shake It Up Chicago, played MJ. It's a great dancer, stunning face. Her name reminds me of, kind of rhymes with Lendea. Alright, try to figure that out.
Not subtle at all. Not subtle at all.
Oh my no days. I said no comment. Oh my days. So what do you feel about the overall episode then, since we do have, 1 week without an episode?
That was a great episode. I think they chose a really, really good point to hit you with that cliffhanger. And you're just seeing more of that Akane greatness. I have to rate her because, the way she was able to just replicate Ai's mannerisms to catch Aqua off guard. And I have to shout out the voice actor, I think her name's Manaka Iwami, because she even had the voice acting of Rei Takahashi. She even sounded slightly like her. So it just tells me, like, on all cylinders when it comes to voice acting, when it comes to direction, when it comes to the character design, sound design, it's all high quality, talented individuals who are doing their best to put out this great show. So yeah, another bang.
Yeah, I must agree with that. They continue to just outdo themselves every week, and I'm definitely excited to continue to watch, because I can just tell, like you said, the amount of love and effort that goes into these, and it's just so clear to see with the voice acting and the art and just the overall quality of everything that's put together. So this is an elite episode, and it's sad that we're gonna have to wait for a while until get the next one. But as usual, we do appreciate you guys listening to us. Daniel, do you have any final thoughts?
Connor, you have to do better. None of that salty behavior.
Hey, when the
When
competition is high, you start getting nervous, man. You start getting nervous. You start seeing the quality of the field.
To the occasion.
Hey, you would like that, innit? You want. I know what side you be standing on.
What side is that, bro?
Huh? You're supporting the Akane and the Kana and Aqua ship. You're
I'm not supporting any.
You're
ship,
on the
bro.
boat. You're on the boat. Okay, you're on the boat.
I'm not on any boat, bro. I'm not on any boat.
Okay, I'm supporting the Akane ship still. I'm not gonna lie to you. I need to see that happen.
Why?
I don't know.
You want Aqua to date his mother?
No, I need him to stop that, actually. I need him to stop. Hey, I need to add, before we finish, the way his eyes was in, like, such a lure when her persona changed, was acting like his mum. It made me really sad.
A law? That was shock, bro. Not a law.
I sure was shocked. I thought he was excited,
He was
man.
shocked. Look at the thing. He was shocked. He was like, what the hell is going on?
Shocked because he was happy.
No, because he was surprised and he couldn't believe that she was able to replicate. He literally said no one can mimic I, and she did it.
We'll see in 2 weeks, innit?
I'm saying 2 weeks like he hasn't already read the series.
Anyway, guys, that's it from us. Drink your water. Be blessed, and we'll catch you in a bit.
Peace and blessings. Bye.
Love you.